You know, old technology can be a wonderful thing. It provides you a nostalgic interface with your past. It reminds you of how things used to be, maybe during a simpler time. Or maybe it's just a way that you enjoy interacting with retro tech. For some of us that were growing up in the 2000s, the iPod was an ubiquitous part of our experience. MP3 players and portable stereos were on the rise. It all started with the Sony Walkman, and then it became the Discman, and the only natural progression was the MP3 player. But Apple really did it better with the micro hard drive iPod. Now, the problem that some retro tech gets is after a while the batteries go bad. And so I've been sick here lately, and I decided to, in effect, a battery repair to this iPod. It wouldn't hold a charge, wouldn't play for more than 10 or 15 minutes. It was having a lot of problems. So I pulled the battery out and put a new one in. But then the question was, how do I listen to it? So I'm going to get to the question of how I'm going to listen to this in just a moment. It involves rebuilding a stereo. I'll give you that idea. However, what was fun was rebuilding this and getting to that conclusion. How am I going to ingest my media? I could easily make a Future Funk CD and put it on this thing, which is my old Walkman from I don't even remember when I bought this thing. And then that got me back to these CDs. And then that got me thinking back, I still have a tape player somewhere. I still have a stereo. You know, I think it'd be kind of fun to rebuild a retro system and to have it and to have that fullness of sound and have that quality of sound that lo-fi kind of needs. For the stereo amplifier and receiver, I wanted to go with something that was a true classic. The realistic STA 460. A beautiful brushed silver front, true retro tech, and it's realistic. So that means it's got to be better, right? Well, unfortunately for this system, she's having some problems. I need to recap it, so this is not a viable option for right now, maybe later. So I picked up this guy. An Optimus ST-AV 3560. However, as far as vintage systems go, this was made in 1994 and it's still a working model. So this right now is my best bet for a stereo receiver that can handle everything I want it to handle. And most importantly, I have the option to expand as time goes on, or at least bring in new components and delete them as need be. Now, even though I do have an older 5-disc CD changer Kenwood, it's a little bit too much for my desktop here, so I'm going to have to rely upon my old Sony CD player here. So this is what's going to be plugged into that. If I'm going to be using an Optimus receiver, then might as well be using an Optimus tape deck, right? When I tested it earlier, the belts have all worn out over time. They've become a black goo that's just unusable. So until I get this thing rebelted, she's not an option. Luckily, I have a second option as well. Picked up this RCA Professional STC 560. Now this cassette deck will do everything I want it to do and more. Now, I know you're asking, why cassettes? Isn't that a dead format? Yes, but like I said too, with lo-fi and retro punk and vaporwave coming back as a format, one of the things they're offering is cassette tape playback, and I think that just adds to the experience. So this and the Optimus are going to be new best friends.
All right, let me get these wires plugged in, and this will connect to my CD player or my iPod. And let me get the tape deck plugged in here. And I'll go out and plug this in. And then because I'm going to want to record things to the tape deck, I'm going to need to connect a second pair of RCAs that will also have an input to the tape deck. Let me go on and power on the unit here. Hey, we've got power. That's a good sign, right? Let me go on and pull out the old iPod and connect it, and we'll get some audio going here and see how we're doing. Huh. Well, it's playing, but there's nothing coming out. Maybe it's a dirty connection? Oh, I know what we forgot.
Now that my receiver deck and my tape player and some expansion is added, I need some way to actually hear the music I'm going to be listening to. And for that, I think I found something perfect. These are a product known as Bose 2001 bookshelf stereo speakers, and these aren't much taller than both of those components combined. So I think it'll actually look like a pretty decent system.
Well, now that we know that the receiver deck is working, let's get this tape deck going here. It's powered on. Put this in. This is just a random tape. And hey, we have audio. Not bad for something that's probably 30 or 40 years old. Everything's working. I think we're pretty good now.
I'm sure the question you're asking is, why go to all this trouble? I could just put on headphones. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it is about the music. It's about the enjoyment of the music. It's about the beat, it's about the rhythm. It reflects what you're thinking and what you're feeling at that time. And headphones can only go so far. And portable speakers can only provide so much power and so much bass. But then again, too, I find myself searching for the next song. Here, I'm kind of having to live at the unit if I want to do that. And what I've discovered is already with this system in place now for just a little bit of a day, I'm just listening to the music. And that's what it's primarily about. I'd like to take this opportunity to suggest that if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to the channel. I do tech videos, I do humor, I do entertainment, I do just about anything. It's really kind of a general purpose channel. Please consider giving to me on Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com/StarRaccoon, and make a generous donation. And it's with your donations that I'm able to continue doing the channel and living and having fun with you. I want to thank you. I want to thank M. Vandervries. I want to thank Deku Panda, and I want to thank especially Sherbert with his donation recently of a new cassette from my cassette deck. I really look forward to hearing it and sharing that experience with you, Sherb. Thank you so much. So, I guess until next time, I'm Stardust Raccoon, and keep your stick on the ice.